so we wanted to show some actual examples of how we're going to train to learn. So some of the things that Rob and I are working on in my swing, we're going to actually explain today and go through how we would like to see someone practice to change these technical aspects. So one of the things about my swing that we're trying to change is at the top of my swing, the top of backswing, I tend to point the club in this direction. We would call that across the line at the top. And Rob and I have determined through trial and error, through hitting different balls, that hey, I think we're going to play better golf if we can get this club to be more in line with the hands at the top, so more in that picture, or more the whole club actually pointing towards the target. So more in line, less across the line, more in line. So we've determined some of the technical aspects that I need to feel through my hands and arms and wrists in order to accomplish that. And when I'm going through that, we're going to kind of talk about exactly what I have to do in order to train that new skill.
That's right. So a really easy thing for Hunter to do in this scenario is to find the feel that he wants and just try to repeat it over and over and over again with no spacing, no variability, with the idea that if you just repeat it, your muscle memory is going to take into effect. And what we've learned through the research is that there's no such thing as muscle memory. It's cognitive stress that you have to instill in your practice to be able to change a motor pattern. So like what we talked about is we have options. We have variability, we have spacing to be able to get your brain to forget what it did so that when it remembers, that pattern is more deeply encoded. So we're going to use variability. This is called sandwich training. And so the goal here is to do one correct rep, one incorrect rep, and then back that up with another correct rep. So it might seem counterintuitive, but by doing the wrong motion on purpose, number one, it's creating greater awareness of what he feels like he does when he does it wrong. But then that rep is basically telling his brain, I completely forgot what I did when I did it right. So he's going to have to then say, okay, well, what's the opposite of that movement? Can I remember that? And then can I produce that on command?
Perfect. So I'm going to go through that. So I'm going to try to do the first one again, one correct rep here. And just to start, I'm going to kind of go through my feels. This is what I have to feel. I know that looks crazy, but this is what I have to feel in order to accomplish this club head actually lining up with the hand. So I'm going to try to get to that position here in what we've deemed the correct way.
How'd you do?
Felt okay about it, right?
Yeah.
And so my feedback right now is my coach, right? But if I was on my own, I would be videoing this, something like that, to give myself feedback in order to know if I accomplished it, right?
And notice how quickly I asked him that question. The reason is that I did not want a successful shot to be the feedback. I asked him as soon as he hit it, hey, how'd you feel like you did this thing that you're trying to do with your right forearm? So the fact that he was able to say, regardless of the outcome, yeah, I did it right. Now what it means is that we need to forget it. We need to actually do the opposite of what you just did so that then you can remember what the right pattern is.
So now I'm going to try to go, maybe not even back to normal. I'm going to try to exaggerate the wrong thing, maybe even a little bit. So now I'm going to try to point this club over there.
Feel it?
Definitely felt it, absolutely.
All right, so his brain just forgot. It just did the wrong thing. Can he remember it? And complete the sandwich. All right, did we get bread on both sides?
Felt like I did pretty good on that one.
Nice job. So that's a really good example of how to introduce variability to better encode the pattern that you're